Hello friends and welcome to Brainy. So this video is about ChatGPT, and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to generate some questions about neurology and neuroscience, and let's see what are the answers going to be to its own questions. So shall we? Okay, I'm gonna just write like generate questions about neurology and neuroscience. And let's see what are the questions. Okay, these are interesting questions. Okay, so well, I don't want it to be so long, so I'm gonna limit it to like 70, 80 words answers. So yeah, it's gonna be a short answer to each question, and I think it's gonna be fun. All right, so the first question is, how do neurons communicate with each other in the brain? Okay, that's an interesting basic one. So I'm gonna just copy and paste and give like 80 words answer, and let's see what it's gonna be. Okay, so it says neurons communicate with each other in the brain through a process called synaptic transmission. True. When an action potential reaches the terminal of the presynaptic neuron, it triggers the release of neurotransmitters, which bind to receptors on the postsynaptic neuron. This results in the generation of a new action potential, which is transmitted down the length of the postsynaptic neuron. The strength of the synaptic connection can be modulated by various factors, including the activity of the presynaptic neuron, the number and type of the receptors on the postsynaptic neuron, and the levels of the transmitters in the synaptic cleft. Well, yeah, that's basically true, and yeah, it completely like answered it in general terms. But well, I'm not gonna go deep in this topic, but maybe later I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to explain more about the communication between neurons. It could be in another video, so let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, the next question is, what are the key differences between the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system? That's a good one. It reminds me of high school questions, so yeah, bear with me to find the answer from ChatGPT. Okay, so it says the central nervous system, actually CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS, are two distinct parts of the nervous system. The CNS is made up of the brain and spinal cord, which is correct, while the PNS consists of nerves that extend through the body. That's true. Connecting the CNS to organs, muscles, and sensory receptors, the CNS is responsible for processing and integrating information, while the PNS is responsible for carrying information to and from the CNS. The PNS can be further divided into into the somatic nervous system, which controls voluntary movement, and the autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary functions like heart rate and digestion. Well, basically it's all correct, but like talking about heart rate and other stuff, so some parts of the brain are actually responsible for it. So if it wants to go in details, it's gonna like differentiate those stuff, but well, we're looking for general answers right here. Okay, the next question is going to be, how do brain waves contribute to our understanding of cognitive processes? Actually, these questions are good. I wasn't expecting to get such questions from ChatGPT. Like it's an AI, but I wasn't looking to these types of questions. Okay. So it says brain waves are patterns of electrical activity that can be measured using an electroencephalogram, which is EEG. Different types of brain waves are associated with different cognitive processes, such as attention, memory, and learning. By analyzing patterns of brainwave activity, researchers can gain insights into how the brain processes information and how different cognitive processes are related to each other. For example, the study of alpha waves has been linked to attentional processes, while the theta waves are associated with memory encoding and retrieval. Brainwave activity can also be used to diagnose and monitor certain neurological disorders. Well, yeah, basically, like in sleep studies and so about REM and stuff like that, they study the EEG of the patient. And also, yeah, in some neurological disorders, the EEG is kind of the main thing to use. So, like in some kind of like psychoneurology disorders. So yeah, those are so common, but also like in disorders like MS, Alzheimer, and Parkinson's, they've been looking to the EEG patterns as well. All right, let's move on to the next question. So it's going to be question 4. What is the role of neurotransmitters in the brain and how do they affect our behavior? Okay. Well, I guess it's going to talk about some different types of the neurotransmitters, but let's see what's the answer going to be. Okay. Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that transmit signals between neurons in the brain. They play a key role in controlling behavior by modulating the strength and frequency of synaptic connections between neurons. Yeah, as it said in the other question. Different neurotransmitters are associated with different behaviors, such as dopamine and reward processing, serotonin and mood regulation, and acetylcholine and learning and memory. Imbalances in neurotransmitter levels or function have been implicated in numerous neurological and psychiatric disorders. Yeah, that's totally true, including depression, anxiety, Parkinson's disease. Yeah, so the imbalance in the level of the neurotransmitters can be detected from like blood sample or getting a sample from the spinal cord fluid. So yeah, basically it's saying the correct answer. Also in Alzheimer, they look at some proteins, but those are not neurotransmitters basically. So yeah, it's kind of a different topic. And drugs that affect neurotransmitter levels can also alter behavior and mood, such as the effect of antidepressants on certain level. Yeah, so basically drugs used for psychiatric disorders are about regulating the amount and level of the neurotransmitters. So yeah, basically it's telling the right answer. All right. Let's move on to the next question, and it's going to be, how does the brain perceive pain and what are the underlying mechanisms? All right, and give me 80 words answer. And let's see the answer. Okay, it says, the brain perceives pain through a complex network of neural pathways that involve multiple brain regions. When the body is injured or damaged, the specialized pain receptors called nociceptors send signals to the spinal cord, which then relays the information to the brain. The brain processes the incoming sensory information and generates the experience of pain. which can be modulated by various factors such as attention and emotion. The underlying mechanisms of pain perception involve the activation of specific neurotransmitters and ion channels in the nervous system, as well as the processing of cognitive and emotional factors. Again, it's telling the correct answer, and well, we want this to be short, but it's a big topic, and as it said, it goes through a complex network of neural pathways. So there are different neural pathways used to just send the information of pain to the brain, process it, and give some reaction to it. Right. Let's move to the next question, which is going to be question 7. Oh, by the way, please like and comment on this video. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and wait for the next videos to come. Alright, so question 7. What is the relationship between brain development and behavior during childhood? That's an interesting one. It involves kind of a psychology. Well, honestly, I don't know the answer to. I never heard of such stuff. Oh, that's interesting for me. Okay, it says brain development during childhood plays a crucial role in shaping behavior and cognitive abilities. The brain undergoes rapid growth and development during early childhood, with significant changes occurring in the size, connectivity, and function of neural circuits. These changes are influenced by both genetic and environmental factors, such as nutrition, social interactions, and experiences. The development of key brain regions is linked to specific behaviors, such as language and socialization. Disruptions in brain development can have long-lasting effects on behavior and cognitive function, highlighting the importance of early intervention for promoting healthy brain development. Okay, yeah, basically it's saying the right answer, and it's logical, because the brain goes through neuroplasticity, and these synaptic connections are formed, and actually they're formed by experience and memories, other stuff. So it's machine learning, and it's developing every day. So actually it's giving reasonable answers. So I'm really happy about this AI. Okay, the next question is, how can neuroimaging techniques such as fMRI and PET scans be used to study the brain? Okay, this is a good question. It could involve more devices e.g. the actual MRI and the effect of the magnetic field on the brain, and these studies are happening right now. So alright. Let's see the answer. Okay, neuroimaging techniques such as functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, and positron emission tomography (PET) scans can be used to study the brain by providing detailed images of its structure and function. So fMRI measures changes in blood flow that correspond to changes in neural activity, allowing researchers to identify which brain regions are active during a specific task or experience. Also, PET scans use radioactive tracers to measure brain activity associated with specific neurotransmitters, providing insights into the chemical and functional activity of the brain. These techniques can help researchers understand how the brain processes information and how neurological and psychiatric disorders affect brain function. Okay, basically it's true. Like fMRI is looking at the brain activity, and if you look at the fMRI pictures, it gives like a range of colors. It starts from blue to red or yellow, I guess. And yeah, it gives like different activities in the brain. Yeah, that's totally correct. What is the impact of drugs and alcohol on the brain and nervous system? Well, okay, it's a good one for alcoholics. Yeah, let's see what happens to your brain if you drink and if you're using drugs. Well, not healthy, but let's see. Drugs and alcohol can have significant impacts on the brain and nervous system. Many drugs and alcohol act on neurotransmitter system, leading to changes in the structure and function of neural circuits. Chronic drug or alcohol abuse can lead to addiction, which is characterized by changes in reward processing and decision-making circuits. Actually, yeah, that's right. Like alcohol and drugs are addictive. Yeah, it's gonna affect the neural pathways. Okay, and yeah, prolonged use of drugs and alcohol can also cause damage to the brain cells, right? Leading to cognitive impairment and psychiatric disorders. In addition, drugs and alcohol can impair motor, coordination, and sensory perception, leading to impaired driving and other dangerous behaviors. Okay, yeah. So if you abuse drugs and alcohol, yeah, it's gonna affect the neurons, and if the neuron is damaged, so yeah, basically it's gonna affect the whole process in the brain, and also like based on the location of the damage, it's gonna have different effects on the brain and on the lifestyle of the person. Yeah, it was just an example like impaired motor coordination, but also yeah, based on the alcohol and where the drug targets. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah. Okay, so and the last question is, how do genetics and epigenetics influence brain function and behavior? Alright, this is good. I actually like the topic of epigenetics because if you look at the studies of epigenetics, it's kind of cool. And yeah, maybe I make some videos about epigenetics and the use of it in the neuroscience studies. That's going to be a cool video. Alright, so it says genetics and epigenetics play important roles in influencing brain function and behavior. Genetic variations can affect the structure and function of neural circuits, leading to differences in behavior and susceptibility to neurological and psychiatric disorders. Epigenetics modifications such as DNA methylation and histone modification can regulate gene expression and alter the way that genes are transcribed, leading to change in neural circuits and behavior. Environmental factors can also influence epigenetic modification, highlighting the complex interplay between genetics, epigenetics, and environment in shaping brain function and behavior. It's giving some good answers. Like, yeah, epigenetic modification is something interesting, and yeah, it's this robot is just going so good actually. So yeah, this was the video, and yeah, I'm back after 2 years. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.